So I have my scripting book, and I'm going to script about some of the things that came up yesterday about um, how things work when it comes to the universe providing the things that you want. One of my vivid memories is the opportunity of me going to college. I came up in a household that my mother was raising 6 kids by herself. I was the youngest, and as much as she wanted us to succeed in school, I see now as a parent, it was more important for her to know where I was at. And so the high school situation, I went to a high school that was considered pretty dangerous. Um, I don't think it's that way now because things have changed, but they cleaned up a lot. And she would literally come in the room and say, "Okay, are you going to school today?" And I would go, "No." And she would close the door and leave me alone. So when I got the opportunity to visit my college that I went to, Hofstra, it was something woke in me that I just knew I was going there. I didn't know how. And when we were talking about that last night, Sling and I don't remember ever even worrying about how. I just knew once I took a tour. They have an ambassador program at most colleges, I would imagine, but at my college they did. I and that meant that I went around with a student all day. I went to her classes with her. I ate lunch with her, and I think it ended like 3 o'clock. So I was there by 8, and it ended like 3 or 4. So enough time for me to get off the bus, get there, and get back on the bus. And I tell you, immediately. It was a world that I didn't even know existed before being able to tour the school. And you would hear people saying, you hear people go away to college, go away to college, go away to college. But it wasn't until that day that I was able to say, put a picture to what that meant. And I wanted it. No question in my mind that I wanted to be a student and to be able to go away to college. I remember leaving that campus, standing on the bus stop, which is across the street, but you can see the college. And I said, I am going here. I remember doing that, even with my hands. And the next day, I went back to my high school and I talked to every one of my teachers and asked them, what did I need to do to pass that class to graduate? This was 12th grade, obviously. I'm gonna tell you, many of the teachers was like, "Who are you, and are you in my class?" Um, there was one teacher, and it was the actual class that I needed to graduate. She taught social studies, and quite frankly, we did not resonate. I thought was because she was a white teacher teaching me Black history, and I didn't like her teaching style. I mean, me now as an adult, I can see that that really doesn't matter, but it's kind of like one of those things that it does matter, It's like me trying to teach you about another culture's history as if I lived it. Um, and I didn't like that. That didn't resonate with me. She has such an air about her that just made me dislike the whole experience. And she told me point blank that I was failing and I was not going to graduate, which was another problem that I had with her because if you were my teacher and you wanted the best for me, and I came to you with an opportunity that I could go to college, and you are willing to stand against that, what do you say? But this is how God works. Universe, source, whatever label. I remember leaving that class going, "You watch me." She goes, "You will not graduate." I said, "You watch me." Got my acceptance letter, um, maybe, I don't even know the time frame after. I just know one rejection after the other was coming. I went up there and did the whole interview process, was filling out applications to colleges as if I was gonna get in. I don't, because that's what you do, right? You, as a kid, you're graduating, you fill out applications if you wanna go to college. Now, I how could these other colleges take me knowing that my grades were terrible? They were up and down. This particular college that I went to had a program that helped less fortunate minority children that showed potential, but they understood that based on your environment could have had an impact on how you did in school. Rightfully so. Mine did. Went there, interviewed, aced it, got my acceptance letter. And before going into the mainstream of the college campus, we had to stay 8 weeks in a summer program, and we took all the classes: math, science, writing, English writing, and social studies. It was the only class that I got credit for, and it was the class that I needed to graduate high school. So, needless to say, I never even saw my high school diploma because I had already been accepted into college. That class I passed, it completed the high school portion of what I needed. And the rest, as they say, is her story. I graduated from Hofstra. Um, it was a great experience, up and down, around. It was, if I always say, if anybody could afford or have an opportunity to go away to school, they should take it. But I bring out that because that is what I am trying to revisit and remember how the universe works. Like, this trip is one that I decided I wanted to come on and kind of left, didn't think about it again. Went to, um, was going to Celine's daughter. She's in a band, she sings. She was having her last performance before moving to New York, and we wanted to be there to support her. As we were leaving, John is also in that band. John is the owner of this house. Um, I remember reaching out and saying, "Hey, John, we're kind of overdue for a visit to your cabin." He goes, "Anytime, anytime. Yes, let's do this." And here we are. Another good example, and it's coming up. I'm going to my 40th class reunion for class of '84. And remember saying, I really want to go to that. This was earlier in the year when I found out about it, and I thought I had the funds to do it. So naturally, I was in a state of, um, oh yeah, I'm going because I got the money. Well, as it got closer and closer to this date, which is September 21st, that the reunion will be 2 weeks from now, um, I realized I didn't have the money. So I told um, them that I wasn't coming, my classmates who was putting it together. And my classmate reached out to me and was like, "Listen, you got to be there, and I got you. I will spot you the money to get you there." And I was like, "Oh, I can't. I don't know. I can't." So I told her, "No, thank you. I'm good. Thank you, but no, thank you." In my mind, it was because I didn't want. That was a lot, and I didn't know how to receive it. I was thinking that it would be something over my head, like she would hold something over my head. So I told her no. I think she was feeling some kind of way, I'm not sure, but I try to gracefully say thank you, thank you, thank you, but I just don't feel good about it. And it wasn't until just a week ago that I shared that story with another great friend of mine. She was my college roommate. She's an actress in Hollywood and she's killing it. She's on that Sylvester Stallone show. She's on a lot of stuff. And she's the epitome and an example of doing what you love. And she loves acting and creating, and she's made a life for herself for the last 40 years. So she and I had a conversation, and she said, "Wait a minute, Pam, you are blocking the blessings." She goes, "Money is cyclical, and source and universe," she said, "the universe sends it, and you receive it, and then you give it, and it goes like that. And you just blocked it." And I said, "Yeah, but I was telling her how I feel about accepting it." And she goes, let's do an exercise. You reach back out to your friend and you say, "Hey, if you're still willing, I want to go." And that was the most uncomfortable text message. Um, so it took her about 2 days to respond, which is her fashion. That's how she does. And she was like, "Okay, check this flights. I think they might have went up, but let's do this." I was sending her the cheapest flights ever because I kept saying, "I don't want to take this woman's money like this. I don't want her to think I'm taking advantage of her." Um, she was like, I guess she looked because she was like, "Hey, book the Delta one. There's only three left." She sent me $410 and I booked it. And here's the thing. I didn't have money for the Airbnb, but I searched out the Airbnb and then I got another tap on my spirit, asked my nephew for money. Ask him. He sent me 200. I shared the story with my sister. She's sending me 200. Solang is buying my ticket to the event. And I thought, and the whole time now, all this way, all in here, I'm going, oh, I'm feeling so uncomfortable that people are doing this for me. Um, but I would not hesitate to be a part of that for somebody else. And then I realized it would make me feel good to be a part of that. And I'm stopping people from having that same experience. So, needless to say, I'm going to my family reunion, and I didn't have to put any money into it.